What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JBsports back again with another one. One of the biggest names in the sport of boxing makes his return to the square circle Saturday night at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. This is the first boxing match, if I'm not mistaken, in 2 years since COVID-19. So we will see what happens. We will see what transpires. Gervonta "Tank" Davis. He has a record of 26 wins, 0 losses, 24 KOs. He has a PhD in knockouts, a master in the one-hitter quitter. He'll be taking on Rolly Romero with a record of 14 wins, 0 losses, 12 KOs. He is a knockout artist, and he has a PhD in the one-hitter quitter. It's going to be a good fight, man. It's going to be a good fight. All the prognosticators are saying there's no way in hell this fight's going to go the distance. There's no way in hell we're going to see a 12th round. Somebody definitely getting knocked out. And usually, a lot of times, I ain't going to say most of the time, I ain't going to say all the time, I'm going to say in a lot of cases, let me just put it to you like that. In a lot of cases, when everybody, for the most part, think it's going to be a knockout, it end up going to a decision. I know that Rolly's trainer came out and said the best thing for Rolly is to win this fight by unanimous decision, because people think he can't fight. People think he can't box. Many people think he's a one-trick pony. And he's a guy that's with a very limited skill set. He's got to land a power shot to get his opponents out of there. There's no way he'll be able to outbox a fighter of the caliber of a Gervonta "Tank" Davis, who's one of the most skillful fighters in boxing today. That's what Rolly's trainer said. But Rolly said he's going to knock out Tank in the first round. Tank says it's definitely going to be a knockout. He didn't predict the round, but he definitely said that Rolly's going to sleep like he had gave him some NyQuil. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. This is a very intriguing matchup. It's going to be for the WBA lightweight title. And I'm going to break this fight down and tell you what I think, who I think will win this particular matchup. It's going to be a very exciting fight, man. I think the atmosphere is going to be electric. It's going to be a sold-out crowd. I think they're going to do a very good gate. As Gervonta "Tank" Davis' last, 3 or 4 fights, he has produced a very strong gate, as people have been willing to shell out big bucks to watch him fight. One of the biggest attractions in the sport of boxing. Make no mistake about it. And Gervonta "Tank" Davis is a guy that's a short guy. I think he's around 5'5", somewhere in there, 5'5.5", 5'6", somewhere in that range. I believe Rolly's probably around about 5'8", 5'9". Now, Rolly's going to be the naturally bigger guy. This fight is going to be campaigned at 135 pounds, but on fight night, Rolly Romero is going to be a junior middleweight. He's probably going to be at least 150 pounds or more, 150 to 155 pounds. I believe he will rehydrate the next day to at least 20 pounds over the 135-pound weight. So I won't be a bit surprised he come in there anywhere to as low as 150 pounds to as high as 155 pounds. So basically, he's going to be coming into the fight as a junior middleweight. But as Floyd Mayweather said, skills pay the bills. And Gervonta "Tank" Davis has said that too, as he's a protege of Floyd Mayweather. Skills pay the bills, and that will be tested Saturday night, because, again, Rolly is the much bigger guy. He's going to try to impose his will. And this fight's going to really be a psychological warfare. Which fighter first takes a step back? Whoever does that, the other fighter's going to have an advantage. If Rolly can back up Gervonta and make Gervonta fight off the back foot, Rolly's going to be at a strong advantage. That's what he wants. He wants to be able to back up the much smaller guy. He wants to bully the much smaller guy. He wants to get him on the ropes and work not only the right hand, but the left hand and left hook. Now, Rolly's a guy that's going to have to control range. He's going to have to fight a very smart fight. He cannot allow Gervonta "Tank" Davis to get inside. He's got to establish his jab. He really don't be looking to establish the jab. He uses the jab as a range finder, but he really does need to establish that left jab to set up the right hand. But more than anything, he's definitely going to have to control distance. He's got to control distance. If he's able to control distance, he's going to be able to get leverage on that right hand. He'll be able to hurt the smaller guy, Gervonta Tank Davis. And that's what he'll be looking to do. Now, he's a very unorthodox fighter. Kind of reminds me of Marcus Madonna. He throws punches from weird angles, from different positions. He's got a background of Taekwondo, and I think that pays dividends in the boxing ring as he's throwing and he's grappling, he's wrestling, and he's tugging, he's engaging with his opponent, and he's doing a lot of very awkward things that a guy that's coming, from a boxing background has problems dealing with. And Gervonta Tank Davis and his team is going to have to be well aware, watch a lot of film of which I'm pretty much sure they've done in the lead up to this fight, and be able to counteract those things that Rolly Romero brings to the table. Now, Gervonta Tank Davis definitely is going to have to slip the jab if Rolly decides to implement the jab. Hopefully that's the case, because if he don't implement the jab, man, he's going to be a one-trick pony, and it's hard to beat a fighter of the caliber of a Gervonta Tank Davis with the boxing IQ of Gervonta Tank Davis with just one punch. If he got to worry about taking away one punch, he'll be able to do that all the time. That's what great fighters do, and I consider Gervonta Tank Davis a great fighter. So the left hand is definitely going to be what Rolly needs to bring to the table in order to get the victory in this fight. Because again, Gervonta going to take away that right hand, so he's going to have to be able to land the left hand, the straight left hand, and the straight left hook, and be able to land the left hook to the body. I think that's going to be Rolly's calling card. Now, as far as Gervonta Tank Davis is, he's got to get inside, because if he's out of range and if he's able to not get inside, Rolly's going to be able to keep him at range, keep him, from getting in close to him, and he's going to be able to stand on his shots. That's what Rolly's looking to do. Rolly's looking to stand on that right hand. He's got to have distance to land that right hand. In close quarters, he's not able to land the right hand consistent as he is from a distance. So I believe Gervonta Tank Davis is going to try to get inside and then land that uppercut. That's going to be the punch that Gervonta Tank Davis is going to be looking to land. He's going to try to close distance. He's going to be on the outside, but as Rolly tries to throw that right hand, he's going to try to slip it, get inside, get from point A to point B, and get close enough to get off that uppercut. Now, Rolly has said that the uppercut is telegraphed, and he ain't gonna have no problems getting out of the way of that uppercut. He's basically said that everything that Gervonta Tank Davis throws is telegraphed, so he's not gonna have any problem not seeing those punches coming and getting out of the way of those punches or countering those punches. That sounds good, and then until you're in the ring, we'll see what happens and we will see what transpires. But again, man, Rolly wants to control distance. He wants to keep the fight for the most part on the outside and land the right hand. And then at times, he probably wants to back up Gervonta Tank Davis and kind of bully him on the ropes. And that's when he can kind of land some shots like left hooks to the body and stuff of that nature, right hands to the body and stuff like that. And kind of, through his Taekwondo background, kind of use him being a naturally bigger guy to kind of roughhouse, bogart, bully, and kind of manhandle Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta Tank Davis has got to let the guy know that, hey, you ain't gonna be able to manhandle me. He's got to kind of meet power with power. Kind of like what Shakur Stevenson did in the Jamel Herring fight. I think Jamel Herring went in that fight thinking he was a naturally bigger guy. He would be able to manhandle Shakur Stevenson, but when he tried to push back Shakur Stevenson, he saw that he basically pushing up against a wall. As Shakur Stevenson's a real strong guy, and he was not able to push back Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson met him with a lot of resistance, and basically he got stoned trying to push Shakur Stevenson back. That's what Gervonta Tank Davis is going to have to do at times. Not all the time, but at times he's going to have to show Rolly that, hey, man, you ain't going to be able to bully me around this ring. You think you're going to be able to just push me to the ropes anytime you feel like it? I got another thing for you. That's not going to be the case. It's going to be like pushing against a wall, just like it was the case with Jamel Herring versus Shakur Stevenson. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But it's a very intriguing matchup. Very, very, very intriguing matchup. No love lost between these two fighters. These guys do not like each other. So whatever happens in this fight, you're not going to see any kind of embrace after the fight. You're going to see a lot of trash talking, a lot of I told you so's, and it's going to be must-see TV before, during the fight, and after the fight. And we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Gervonta Tank Davis has one of the highest boxing IQs in the sport of boxing. I think that's going to pay dividends for this fight. I think early on, the awkwardness of Rolly Romero is going to be tough to deal with. But I think as the fight goes on, as the fight progresses, he will figure him out, and he'll start landing those power shots. I think one of the things he's got to do early on is jab to the body. To kind of, set. That's just good to jab to the body, because that's a scoring. That's you scoring. You're still trying to win rounds, even though you're trying to deal with the awkwardness. You're trying to figure a guy out. You still want to be competitive in rounds. And I think the jab to the body will pay dividends early on for Gervonta Davis. Jab to the body, make Rolly have to reset. Jab to the head too. That's one thing that is underrated about Gervonta Davis. He has a very good jab, and he's a guy that is just a very explosive fighter. Very explosive fighter, but not just a guy that explosiveness and looking for the knockout and the power puncher with no skill. He's a guy that's very technical too. So he's got the whole repertoire as far as a complete boxer goes. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup, because he's fighting a guy that's naturally bigger, a guy that, in my opinion, probably has no business at 135, but he's able to make 135. He's what you call a weight bully. He tried to call Tank a weight bully when he's fighting guys at 126 and 122, but you're a weight bully fighting Tank at 135. You should be at probably 147, really. You're going to come in to the fight on fight night as a junior middleweight. So who's a weight bully and who ain't the weight bully? Tell me something, Rolly. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. It's going to be a very, very interesting matchup. It's been a lot of talk going into this fight that this is be Gervonta Tank Davis' last fight under Mayweather Promotions. Whatever the case may be, he might stay with Mayweather Promotion and deal with them on a fight-by-fight basis. But the bottom line is he's not leaving the PBC led by Al Heyman to go to Matchroom and work with Eddie Hearn, or go to Golden Boy and work with Oscar De La Hoya, go to Top Rank and work with Bob Arum. That's not going to be the case. He's going to stay with the PBC in one form or fashion. Best believe that. So we will see what happens. We will see what transpires. I think the fight's going to be very explosive, but I don't think it's going to end in the first half of the fight. That means the first 6 rounds. I think Rolly has a lot of desire, a lot of fortitude. This is his big opportunity to become a pay-per-view star, become one of the faces of boxing, and he's going to lay it all on the line. And Gervonta Tank Davis, we've seen time and time again that he's laid it on the line. Now, Gervonta Tank Davis seems to think that Rolly is going to maybe shrivel in this on the big stage. That it'll hit him once they're standing across the ring from each other and they're about to ring the bell for round 1, that he'll say, damn, I'm in a big situation. I might not be ready for this. I've never been on this type of stage before. Gervonta Tank Davis is banking on that. I don't see Rolly paying attention to that. I think Rolly going to be going there looking to knock out Tank. He's got a lot of self-confidence, and he seems like to be a guy that feels he belongs on this stage. Kind of like when Cassius Clay first fought Sonny Liston. A lot of people are like, man, when he get in the ring with Sonny, it's going to be a whole different ball game. He doing all that talking before he get in the ring. He ain't never been on that stage before. I'm pretty much sure they said that when he fought Sonny Liston, but he got in there and whooped Sonny Liston. He got in there and fought Sonny Liston like he had been on that stage 10 years. And some fighters just get on that stage and they just perform, man. They believe that, hey, this is where I'm supposed to be, and I'm finna, this is my time to shine. I'm gonna shine. He might not be like Tim Bradley did in the first Pacquiao fight. You could tell that the moment got to him. It took him a while to get his legs up on him, and he came on in the second half of that fight and was able to get a decision win over Pacquiao, disputed decision win. But you could tell that the occasion, especially early on, got to Tim Bradley. He even said that in the post-fight press conference that when right before round 1, he had butterflies. He had never felt like that, before a fight, before the opening round of a fight. So some fighters are built different. Not to say that one fighter is better than the other, but some guys are built different. I mean, in the regard I mean by that is some guys just, certain situations get to them and certain situations don't bother other guys. So we will see what happens and we will see what transpires. But I like Gervonta Tank Davis by 10th round TKO, 10th round stoppage. I think he drops Romero multiple times, and I think he jumps on him and he lands a lot of shots, and I think the referee jumps in and they stop the fight in the 10th round. I got the 10th round stoppage by Gervonta Tank Davis in a thrilling, back and forth, crowd-pleasing affair that both fighters will come out as winners. Even though a guy's going to take his first L, I think both guys are going to come out as winners. As even if Rolly loses this fight, I think he'll be one of the big names in and around the lightweight division. Maybe he goes up to the junior welterweight division, and I think I think he'll be able to still be a big player in and around the lightweights in junior welterweight division. Let me know your thoughts. Who you like in this particular matchup? You like Gervonta Davis, or do you like Rolly Romero? I like Gervonta by 10th round stoppage. A lot of people think he might knock him out cold, but I think Rolly is gonna might get dropped, but I think he's gonna get up, man. I think he gets stops. I think he's gonna get caught with some shots and he's not gonna be able to answer. He's gonna get caught with consecutive punches, 15, 16, 17 punches in a row, and I think the referee jumps in and stops the fight. That's how I see it going. Kind of like what happened in the Barrios fight. I don't think he knocked out Barrios. I think he stopped Barrios in the 10th round. The referee jumped in as he could not reboot the onslaught that Gervonta Davis was bringing to him. Let me know your thoughts. Follow me on Twitter, JBsports3303. Like, share, and subscribe to JB Sports. The man, the myth, the legend. And I holla.